can't help but be racist. It's true.
Lord have mercy, I'm about to bust.
Why doesn't Rob the Mod wear pantyhose? I'm writing a new song. I hope y'all enjoy it. People would tell me, Jaffe, if you start singing on your stream, you get a lot more people watching. I'm going to sing a song. Let me sing a song. Let's see. The first member to the Gabbin and the Games, my delightful delinquents. It's so good to see everybody. Welcome to your Tuesday, or your Tuesday's wrapping up. Addie Pie in the show, in the goddammit, the chat says, well, Jaffe, why are you so late? I'm not late. We're starting to do the Gabbin and Games at 5 o'clock. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Well, Saturday, no, but you know what I'm saying. At least Tuesday, Thursday, 5 o'clock. So fuck you. Now listen. Hello, Vincent. Hello, Christian. Oh, what just happened? Something just happened. Hey, Fail just subscribed. You got to change that name, buddy. The thoughts you let into your head is the world that you build for yourself. Muggin' Dude, hey, buddy. He says, what was this SNES game back in the day with the redneck playing the banjo on the cover? Wasn't it Phalanx, or it was a shooter? It was a top-down shooter, which I want to say was called Flanks or Phalanx or something like that, if I recall. It was very bizarre, but we all remembered it. Remembered it. CR says, stop cutting out, Jaffe. Jesus, your show has the budget of a high school morning announcement. I'm not cutting out. If anybody says I'm cutting out, let me know, other than CR3D. CR3D is listening with a tin can and a piece of string pushed up against the wall because his mama cut the internet. Okay. We have a lot to talk about. When was I cutting out? What was I doing that was making me cut out? Somebody tell me, is it fine now? I think I know what it was, but all good now. The song broke the internet. I want to tell you real quick. I'm going to tell you what I've been playing, but I just had this right here, and yesterday I was talking on the morning show. There's a morning show now. At the moment, it's called Good Morning Gaming. I don't know if I'm going to keep that title. We'll do it. We do that every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It's gaming, but not just games. Mostly games, but geek stuff and weird shit. Anyway, the point is, on yesterday's pilot of that, we're going to do another one tomorrow. We were talking about books, and people said, well, what are you reading? Can you recommend some books? And I did want to show you what I just got, just because I'm excited, because I'm really enjoying these. And then we're going to get into video games, I promise, because we have a lot of cool news to talk about today. Oh, hey, check that shit out. It's Bukkake Drive-By. Bukkake Drive-By, how was your holiday?
It was fantastic.
What,
I
did you
didn't do anything. I just played video
did
games.
you have the sexy time with the lady or the men folk?
um,
Hmm?
yeah, in Baldur's Gate.
Zing, you didn't fuck the bear. Now listen, I am reading right now this book, The Last Action Heroes. It's all about the Schwarzenegger and Stallone and Chuck Norris and Bruce Willis and all those great action movies. They don't make them like that anymore. It's a great book. It's really, really good. I'm reading that. And then I'm reading, look at this. This thing is delightful. Now, you probably got to do be a kid. I don't know if this is true, 70s or 80s. Maybe 90s kids will relate. But this is a book called Rack Toys. I don't know if you know what rack toy. Bukaki, you ever heard that term, rack toys? Shut up. I know what you're going to say. But you ever actually heard the term?
No, why'd you ask?
Because not everybody's heard the term. I didn't even hear the term until I got this book. But these are toys that were kind of designed to be played with in an afternoon and broken. It was something your parents bought you at the grocery store, the five and dime, or the drugstore to kind of placate
Oh
you and
yeah,
shut you up.
we sell those at my store
Well,
actually.
okay, so this guy's dad was a big seller, and now he's all grown up, and he wrote a book about all the cool rack toys, and they're just the craziest fucking things. It's stuff that doesn't even make any sense. Some company gets the license, like these guys got the rights to Spider-Man for a little bit, and they put out Spider-Man Bowling. Who the fuck knows why? But people bought it. People fucking bought it. It's a good goddamn book. I recommend it. The last thing I'll tell you, I just like things
Yeah,
like this. The 1,500 weird and wacky and fascinating facts. I'll just read you one. I'll just read you one.
of
Let's
course,
see.
of course, you recommend a book full of pictures, you
Well, I
child.
love the
Grow up,
pictures. Oh, yeah, I know.
learn how to read.
Because the thing is, I hate character development. Anyone has to just look at my views on God of War or Ragnarok, and they'll know I'm not smart enough to understand, that. Okay, here we go.
Obviously.
The hottest sauces, okay, in the world. Okay. Listen to this. Listen to this. Get Bitten Black Mamba 6 hot sauce. All it takes is a drop of this 6 million Scoville sauce to make your mouth feel like it's being munched on by a den of black mambas. There's one called Bumblefuck hot sauce. Let me give you another one. Let's get off the food for a minute. The last one. Here we go. Listen to this. This is going to give you guys some inspiration, including you, Bukaki. The founders of Microsoft, Apple, Facebook, and SpaceX were all college dropouts. Think about
What?
that. Think about that. What?
I actually knew that
I
already.
know. Zeke says the candle in the background, he's worried it's going to set things on fire. It's fine. It's fine.
Did you know any guys that were like, I'm not worried about college, dude. Like Bill Gates dropped out. I'm like, yeah, but he was a genius, and you're an R word.
Oh, that's
It's
terrible.
not comparable.
The thing is, though, about college now, it really is a scam. I mean, unless you're going for, and it's not clever to say. A lot of people are parroting this concept, this talking point, but it is true. Unless you're going for a very specific degree where you need that information and you can't get it elsewhere, you really should skip college.
Yeah.
Unless
Once
you're
the
going,
government got involved, it went downhill.
I don't know about that. I went to college because of the government, because of their help.
Well, I mean, once the loans started, the colleges took advantage. Is what I mean.
Well, I had loans that were from government grants. All I can tell you, though, is that, I mean, look, if you go to college because you're saying, I want to go because the social aspect or it sounds like fun, absolutely. Go. Have fun. That if you can afford it, go. But if you think you're going to get a job because you went to college, I think you got to be very specific on that because that's
Yeah.
not guaranteed. Then again, you may
Like
not know what you want to
doctor or
do.
lawyer.
Right. Or even if you want to be a high end, people talking about video games. If you want to be a video game programmer and you want to program, game mechanics and things like that, it's nice if you're really good at the 3D math, but it's not 100% necessary. But if you want to be anything above that, not that that's lesser, but if you want to be working on the engine and all that shit and you want to be a really senior person on the team, these motherfuckers are smart as fuck. And you probably need college for that too. Either that or you're just a fucking genius. So anyway, but the point is, welcome to Gabbin' and Games. We're doing something special today on the show. But I want to tell you what I've been playing, and it will lead into one of the topics. So don't worry, it's all lined up and ready to go. I've been playing this game, which just looks dreadful. Bang On Balls Chronicles. I know. Not only does it have a stupid title, but it looks dreadful. Not to knock on the guys over at Ready at Dawn. I don't know if you guys even remember this, but there was a time when they released a free-to-play like game with these squishy balls, and it was their attempt at kind of like having their own Rocket League or Angry Birds or whatever, and it went nowhere. This is kind of what I thought this was. But I saw this story on Games Radar saying that this game is like the new hotness over on Steam. Okay, so I'm like, fuck it, let me try it. Everybody was raving. I want to show you guys this game in just a second. Before I do, though, because it will lead into the first story, which is basically does Xbox and Sony need a farm league? But before I get to that, I want to tell you, coming up in about 25-30 minutes, we are going to be doing, I don't know what I'm going to call this. This is just a picture. It's just a picture of me throwing up in a bag by Master Luke. But listen, if you are a Cult Calypso member, a God of War member, or you are a mod, in about 20 minutes, if you want, you can put yourself into the Cult Calypso room, because we are going to be discussing this new Mickey Mouse game that's coming out. The trailer dropped. We'll talk about it. This motherfucking game, even though they changed the title today, I think it's racist as fuck. And I want to know, I want to share my views. I want to hear the chat's views, but I, of course, want to hear Cult God of War mod views about, is this a game that you think should be banned? Should it be allowed, but there should be a disclaimer? Do you think the developers are full of shit where now they're going, we didn't know that. We didn't mean it to be fucking racist and anti-Semitic. So, Bukaki, have you seen this game yet? This game I'm talking about?
Is it that horror Mickey Mouse game?
Yes, the horror Mickey. Look at Darth Nugget immediately knee-jerking to the defense of the right. He says, racist, LOL. They said it takes place in 1988. Dude, again.
Well, Darth Nugget is known as a racist in the Jaffe community.
I understand.
So.
I can't help but be racist.
But listen,
it's true.
We'll talk about that. So if you want to jump in on that conversation and you're at those tiers, the membership, jump on in and share what you have to say. But first, let's get into the first topic of the day. This is what I was talking about. This is this Bang On Balls. Steam's latest multiplayer hit is a destructible open world sandbox full of hopping balls. Okay, and it sounds goofy, blah, blah, blah. But it's a big hit. It's really, really good. Let me show you first the trailer. And again, you guys stick around. If you, I can see in the chat already talking about the goddamn Mickey Mouse thing. Just wait. We'll have plenty of time for that. But this is actually more important, because that game, whether it gets banned or not, is you know, it's an interesting conversation to have. But this is going to affect the video game industry. I swear to God. Watch this. Here's the trailer first. All I can tell you is this is delightful. If you like things like Banjo-Kazooie, if you like those great rare platformers from back in the day.
Hate them.
Okay, that's the same for you then. But if you like that, and it's also online multiplayer, but I haven't even gone online. I'm just playing by myself right now. Let me show you the trailer, and then I'll show you some other stuff. And I'll tell you why I'm bringing this up and why I think it's so fucking cool. If I can.
You're a ball enjoyer. There's nothing wrong with that.
My name's Damien. I'm the game director.
People all around the world enjoy balls.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
No sound.
No sound.
Oh wait, I forgot that. No, there it is. I'm in your thing. I'm not watching me. It's terrible already. Hate it. It's just a rip-off of God of War.
Okay, so whatever. I see what you're saying. Some people, this looks like a kid's game. It's a great platform game. It controls like butter. It is a great deal of fun. Don't take it from me. Take it from the Steam community. It's sitting at between an overwhelmingly positive and very positive review since it came out a couple of weeks ago. Okay, so think about what you want, but it's a big hit. A lot of people are playing it, and it's absolutely fun and delightful. But that's not the point of the story. I want
Is
you
it
to
free?
No, it is like $19.
Okay.
I want you to guess. And it's not. I don't know if you've played it, Toxmod. He says it's one of those games where you turn off your brain and just play. I mean, I don't know. For me, the worlds are open. I'll stream it soon. They're very big worlds. They're massive environments to explore. There's lots to discover. There's tons of variety. And I'll tell you, it's just everywhere you fucking go, there's something cool and fun and interesting to do. But love it, hate it, whatever. Here's part of the story. Here's the main thing I want you to pay attention to, and it's only going to get better in the next example I give you. But bang on balls, do you know how many people made this game? Take a goddamn guess, Bukaki. This is from a company called Exit Strategy or Exit Plan or some such shit.
I'm going to say 10.
A little more than 10. This is from a company in Poland, Exit Plan. They work 4 days a week. They are 16 developers put this out. They got together, made a company in Poland. They've worked on AAA in the past, and now this is their game. It's their first new game. It's a big hit game. It's fucking awesome, and it's doing really well. This is 16 players, okay, developers. Now, before we get to my point, let me show you this. Now, I played this last night. This is Lethal Company. I'm sure you've heard of Lethal Company. It's the big hotness. It's the new thing everybody loves, blah, blah, blah. I played it with Spaz and Rob last night. I really loved a lot of it, but whenever I died, and I died a lot, the waiting to get back in, the cadence of the restart, I just couldn't find myself addicted to it. But I thought it was absolutely clever, and the proximity voice stuff is really, really cool and is wonderfully effective and scary. And it's absolutely great if you can get past that loop issue. And it is setting the world on fire in terms of people buying it and playing it on Steam. This is kind of the next big not Valhalla. What was that game called? Valheim. It's the next PUBG. I don't know if it's going to be as big as PUBG.
It's like Phasmophobia from a few years back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, guess how many people made this game?
I'm going to say, actually, I watched you guys, so I'm going to say one, because I think I heard somebody say that.
One guy made this game. He used to make some Roblox games. He probably outsourced a little bit. He's 21 years old, used to work on some Roblox shit, and now he's got one of the hottest games out on the fucking
20
planet.
years old?
Yes. Now, this is why I bring this up, okay? And Xbox is kind of already doing it, sort of semi. If anybody's ears to the train track on this stuff, it's Xbox. Because, love him or hate him, Phil Spencer does, have the bona fides as a gamer. I don't know if Herman Hulst plays fucking video games. I know Scott Rhodey does, but he doesn't run The Division. So I do know, and I've talked to you guys before about back in the day, maybe about 3 years ago, I was talking to a Sony exec, and they were like, most of these guys who run the company at the PlayStation high level, they don't, you can't talk to them about anything other than box products. They don't know what's happening in the world of cell phone games or indie Steam games or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that, Phil Spencer is aware of this stuff. He plays this stuff. He talks about this stuff. But I hope someone at Sony, and I know Sony people watch this show, I'm giving you a lifeline. We don't need a lifeline. We're number one. Fuck you, Jaffe. I'm giving you a fucking lifeline. You better fucking listen. Okay? Let me just move this fan. You better fucking listen. Because you know and I know that what you're doing, if all you do are those big banger games, which are wonderful, that cost $250 to $400 million, it's not sustainable. And you fucking know it. Insomniac knows it. They want to do $300 million games, right? All I'm saying is this. Keep making those. Nobody's saying get rid of those. Nobody's saying nobody wants them. They're wonderful.
Get rid of them.
Bukaki's saying get rid of them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying stick with them. Everybody loves them. What are you doing? Don't be an idiot. Don't be foolish. But you need to be making exclusives like Lethal Company. You need to be making exclusives like whatever this fucking thing is, Bang on Balls. That's 15 people made a great fucking game that a lot of people love. And let's just say, okay, it's not going to be The Last of Us. Fine. But maybe it'll become your next big franchise because it didn't cost that much. And then the next one that comes out, because you had so many people fall in love because it was free, PS Plus, premium, whatever, suddenly you're off to the races. Lethal Company. You could put up people in the chat, you know, like, Lethal Company looks like shit. Somebody in the chat was like, yeah, it looks like one guy made it. Fine. Okay? It's not for you yet. It's not for you yet. But if...
Probably just don't have any friends.
That's fair too. But this game... If you are Sony and you make a game like this with a couple of guys and put it out, there's maybe only 20% of their audience at first that would play it. But all it would take is very little money to know that they've got something here. Instead of spending years on Last of Us Factions only to kill it after spending hundreds of millions of dollars going, it didn't work, right? You know this works, right? It didn't cost you barely anything. Or it didn't cost barely anything to figure that out. Now, once you got it figured out, start adding the paint to it. Start adding the production value to it. Why in the fucking world are they not doing this? I think this is Nintendo aside, because they've kind of got gameplay first mentality. Sony and Xbox need the farm leagues. It's too... See, AddyPie, fuck you. AddyPie, you are such not a visionary. It sucks to be around people like you who are not visionaries when you are, like me, a visionary. Because what I'm telling you, AddyPie, is that he says it's too low budget for the PlayStation name. How do you not get it? I get it, you cocksucker, because it's not too low budget for the PlayStation name. What I'm telling you is that PlayStation and Xbox, but specifically PlayStation, given what they're most successful with, spend way too much money on games without... When you can fucking sell 10 million copies of Days Gone, and that's not enough to clear the hurdle of a sequel... Let me tell you something, AddyPie. Times they are a-changing, okay? And if you're going to spend that kind of money, why in the world would you not start at least some of your games? I'm not saying all of them. When Corey sits down to make his new game, of course, he's like, hey, I want to make a big epic. Of course, give him the money. He's earned it.
It's like, you think they wouldn't just pay one guy to make The Last of Us if they could?
Right. I mean, look at that Jade Raymond game. All we saw is a fucking trailer from the goddamn thing. Okay, well, that trailer probably cost more to make and build and all the assets than this guy made in a year who made this fucking game before he put it out. I'd much rather Jade's team go, hey, we've been working for a year. We got 2 prototypes that are roughly about like this. We're putting them both out. Let's see what people think. And then if they fucking love it, that's the one that wins. We'll start putting a lot of money into it. This is so correct. This is
give this guy some resources. Right. Give him some help.
He don't need it.
Like say, hey, you're a young guy.
He's probably
you
richer
have good
than
ideas. We'll put some people around you that know a little bit more about what's going on, and we'll give you some money, and you can do whatever you want.
Absolutely.
We're not going to give you fucking $400 million.
If that's what he wants. I don't mean he might be so rich now. He's like, fuck you. I'm never working for the man again. But you're right. I get but I get your point. AddyPie says Sony doesn't care about sales much. Really? They want critical acclaim first. You can't pay the rent with critical acclaim, baby. It's why Death Stranding is getting a sequel and Days Gone isn't. These games are not critically acclaimed. Dude, if you think Sony would rather have critical acclaim than sales, you got rocks in your bedpan, baby.
You're an R-word.
And your bedpan. Was Days Gone not greenlit because of sales or other reasons, Chris? Coleman asked. My understanding, look at that. My understanding of Days Gone is that mostly, I would say it was all sales, because you could argue, even John Garvin was on the show and he was saying, oh, well, I rub people the wrong way, blah, blah, blah. But they didn't, they could have made the game. I don't think it would have been as good, but they could have made the game without John Garvin. So I think the most of it was they've come out and said it's too expensive for what it made. I just think the audience is showing us, especially the younger generation, is showing game executives what they want and what they're willing to put up with. And I mean, I just want you to think about this. This game, I don't know how long it took the guy, but it was one dude, and it's out and it's making a shit ton of money, and it looks like crap, comparatively speaking. How much
does it cost?
$19? No, $9. $9.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah. So, and it's a lot of fun. And it's, what it's more fun of? I guarantee you it's more fun of then is Factions. Last of Us Factions. I only know that because no one's played it because it didn't come out. even though they spend hundreds of millions of dollars. So that's all I'm fucking saying. That's all I'm fucking saying. I don't mean to belabor the point, but I think if you're watching this and you're from Sony, you don't have to pay me anymore. The days of you paying me are over. I understand. But just a thank you. Just a thank you is what I'll take. Because if you're not doing this, you guys, what are you doing?
We can safely say that Factions would have been a critical and commercial flop. It sucked. Nobody would have played it. So,
we don't know that. We really don't. It could have been brilliant. And it may
I know
still
that.
be. I know you know that. But I'm just saying that it's like, I don't know. It just pisses me off because they have so much talent there and so much potential. And it's just like, get out of this old way of thinking. The world has changed. The entertainment landscape has changed. The video game landscape has changed. What are you doing?
I mean, the biggest video game like ever is Fortnite, and it doesn't look
no. It's
like
nice. It's nice and well done, but yeah. Carlos says, as somebody who has a little sister and teenage brother, they don't care about a game that looks like The Last of Us, right?
Yeah, they play Fortnite.
That's right. Or they play something like this. But look, if critical acclaim is all you care for, that's great. But I'm telling you, that's not that's a nice PR element, and it might be a loss leader sometimes to move hardware, but I guarantee you, Sony would much rather have a God of War 2018 or a God of War Ragnarok than a goddamn sequel to Ico or Eco, which was one of my favorite games of all time. Captain Thrust. Captain Thrust is
they already get sales from the the fear of missing out from people and their friends. But if there's actually something on the system where you needed it to play with your friends, then imagine how much more they would sell.
Right. Captain Thrust says, see, you're missing the point, good sir. I love you to death and I want to make a baby with you, but there are a lot of low-budget games in the PS Store. It's literally infested with them, says Captain Thrust. I'm not saying there aren't. You're right, by the way. And people should check them out because there's some real good ones on there. I'm not saying people shouldn't check them out and that Sony doesn't have them, but I mean first party. I mean exclusives. I mean things where they fund it and, like Bukaki was saying, they give a little bit of extra help to give it a little more polish, a little less jank, a little bit more support so it runs really well and all that shit. And they make it exclusive to their hardware, and they release it, because we get it. They've said, we can't release Spider-Man 3 on PS Plus Premium day one like Game Pass. Fine. But they could make this, and they could release this. Look at Helldivers 2 was just announced the price today, right? So it's $40 if you want to play the normal, then I think it's $60 or $70 if you want the deluxe edition, whatever comes with that. That means if you want to play with 2 or 3 of their friends, they each need to spend $40 for a fucking copy of that game. Well, yeah. I'm not going to, I rarely buy multiplayer-only games unless I know they're cheap enough that I can find people who want to spend the money and play it. So I look at Helldivers, and I'm not knocking Helldivers. It looks like it could be fun. But you should have released Helldivers like the Helldivers 2 like this. And if people couldn't stop playing it, boom, then keep adding shit to it.
Yeah, make it $20.
Right.
$40 is like, I don't know. People don't think about it as much if it's $20, but $40 is when you start thinking like, I don't know if I want to spend that much.
It's not just you though. You've got to make sure you've got friends who want to spend that much as well. It's like the fact that these $40, the fact that any of these multiplayer games that cost that much don't come with a, hey, here's a pass so you and your friends, you can have up to 3 or 4 hours of friend play, whoever you want to have and how long they want to play. Yeah. You've got, it's ridiculous.
It's like a free trial for like a few hours.
Right. Well, they do that, but $40 isn't going to get you there. I think they have to be over $40 to be in the trial. But trust me, Addy Pie says he guarantees this is going to flop. Helldivers. I don't know if it's going to flop, but I guarantee you sooner or later it'll be less than $40.
Oh yeah.
Mr. LHD6 says, "What about fun? That seems like a concept lost on modern Sony." I think fun. Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's 100% accurate. I know Eric Williams, who directed Ragnarok, is one of the best gameplay combat melee guys in the business. That combat was fun. The puzzles in that game were really, really fucking good. But I agree with you. Their priorities, in my opinion, especially given what the market is telling us, if you got your ear to the train track, is out of fucking whack. Okay, let's move on. Bukaki, are you ready to move on?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm skipping that story. Fuck it. I don't care. Listen to this. I am excited because it's both a good thing and a horrible thing when you think about what this also says about the industry. Here's the news. Here's the headline from today from IGN. 5 years after it came out, Fallout 76 has 17 million players. Remember when this game first came out?
Oh, yeah.
2018, November. It was labeled broken and unplayable. This is from the article by Wesley Yin-Poole. But it was also criticized for having a lifeless Appalachia set open world to explore, devoid of many of the features fans loved from Bethesda's single-player Fallout games. Now, 5 years after launch, it is considered a success. Its player base is happy, and it currently has a mostly positive review on Steam. Listen to this. They just dropped a brand new expansion called Atlantic Cities America's Playground a couple of days ago, and there's more shit coming in the spring 2024. And it sounds like it's pretty fucking good. Salman Ali says, no way that game's still going on. This was never on my radar because A, I'm not a big MMO guy, but more importantly, everybody was just shitting all over it. But I'm like, lo and behold, there's a fucking game out there now that I want to go fucking play, and it looks like it's been all buttoned up and ready to go. I don't know. I mean, look, here's the deal. Here's the fucking deal. You know, we can complain about this all day long. Oh, the game's launch broken. Fuck you, because you show up anyway. You stick around, you show up. You're like an abused spouse is what a lot of these gamers are like. They say they hate it, but they just can't get up the nerve to leave. Isn't that terrible? That's a bad analogy, by the way. That's a bad analogy. I would never compare idiots to abused spouses. Some people just can't leave for a lot of reasons. There's nothing shame about it. But hopefully, I'm just saying I came out before I thought about it. But now I thought about it, and now I'm like, yeah, that's not a good analogy. But the point is, these gamers who are out there acting all like, I'm not going to buy their fucking shit. Yeah, you are. 17 million people decided, you know what, we'll stick around because we've got nothing better to do. Cosmic Bandito says it's Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah, I don't know. It might be. It might be.
I don't know. I played Fallout 76 when it came out, and it wasn't great, but I went back to it like a year after, and it's pretty good. Like, it's a Fallout game.
Yeah.
If you have that itch for a Fallout game, it'll scratch it for you.
Is it mostly PvP or PvE, or it's a blend?
For me, it's completely PvE. Like, you don't have to play with other people. You can play it solo completely.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, well, I'm gonna download it because fuck it, why not? It sounds great. Eddie T says, I don't like live service free to play model. It hurts the game design. Should cost money than charge for map packs if you really need the money. I mean, I don't mind it in some games. In other games, I do. I certainly don't mind it in something like Marvel Snap. I don't think. I mean, what do you buy in Fallout 76? How do they make their money? Is it just cosmetic, or do they actually sell pay for power?
You buy they're called atoms, I think, and it's the in-game currency, and I think it's mostly just cosmetic. I don't think there's any advantages you can buy.
Okay. Yeah, that doesn't bother me at all. But there's some interesting news. 17 million players. Here's some other interesting news. They announced some details on season 2 of Twisted Metal. Again, man, I am not of this world. I'm not working on the show. I don't know anything about it. But I was happy.
Did you have something to do with Twisted Metal?
Well, a little bit I did. But and maybe I'll do a cameo in this new one if they ask me again. Let me find the story. It just kind of went away. Where did it go? But they announced, we know there's a season 2 coming. Mackie announced it at, I think it was one of Keeley's shows. But listen to this. Second season of Peacock's Twisted Metal adaptation to introduce, listen to this. They're going all in. Calypso. We already got a little bit of Calypso in season 1, just like his voice. He was the guy that they went to pick up the package from. Dollface. We got a little bit of Dollface in season 1 at the very end, but now it's telling us that Dollface is John Doe, who's Anthony Mackie's sister, Dollface. They're also going to include Mr. Grimm. Oh my God. Listen to this.
Okay.
Listen to this. This is the showrunner. Michael Jonathan Smith, who also worked on Cobra Kai, great show. He says, Mr. Grimm is my favorite, and I'm excited to capture what the fans are excited about seeing, but also answering the question of how does he exist in the world we've set up? I think there's just going to be a lot of fun with him. What kind of character he is in this world, and how does he interact with people like Sweet Tooth? I mean, it is interesting because Grimm has had a handful of incarnations in the games. And I don't imagine they're actually going to make him supernatural like the Grim Reaper. By the way, in the chat, I must tell you, Daniel Grimm, that's his name. That's my nephew in the chat, Daniel Crawford. I named him after Daniel Crawford because his name is Daniel Grimm. So there, how's it going, Daniel? Hope your Christmas and New Year's was great. But so he's going to be in it, right? That's pretty fucking cool. I don't know if he's going to be the Vietnam vet type or the Grim Reaper type or whatever. But then listen to this. They're also putting Axel in. Oh my God, are you shitting me?
Finally.
Yeah, but listen to this. This is crazy because the second season apparently is going to be focused on the tournament, which you saw at the end of the season 1. They pulled back and showed all the people who were going to be fighting. He says, obviously we're going to have Preacher, Bloody Mary, but then he gets to Axel and he says, some work will be needed to bring Axel to life. How do you get a guy strapped into 2 giant wheels into the show? But he states Axel will be treated with the same reverence as Sweet Tooth. We have to get Axel right, he says. So, come on, man. That's the shit. I mean, this show has delivered. Like I said, I always had faith because of the pedigree of the people making it. But those first couple of trailers just look like shit. But the fact of the matter that these guys are all in, Sweet Tooth and Dollface, this is crazy. I never expected them to be that what's the word? Tied into and keyed into the actual characters and shit. So I'm very, very excited. Eric
They
says,
should make Axel a woman to piss everybody off.
oh, well, yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, every minority and every woke thing you can throw at Axel, he becomes, or she becomes, or they become.
A lesbian.
I love it. Love it. The TV show is very entertaining, says Tatum. I agree. They are changing the structure of the show. Makes me worried it's not going to be as successful, says Eric. Let me ask you, do you think that's just a thing in people's brains? Like, I think it is, right? People are either half full or half empty. The fact that you immediately, after hearing this, if you like Twisted Metal or like the season 1, immediately instead of going, holy shit, they're bringing Axel, they're bringing Grimm, we're going to get Calypso, it's the tournament. Instead of being that's cool, it's like, wow, I'm bothered that the structure may change the show. Why is it always negative? Why? I mean, seriously, do you think we're just wired that way as humans, or do you think some people just are? And
some people just don't like change. So anything that they like that's not going to be the same, they're like, well, I guess I'm going to hate this now.
Come on, Eric Lennon, just hang in there, baby. Hang in there. It's going to be good. My God, I like a cab. A cab says Axel should just be 2 big boobs between wheels. Sure.
Hell yeah, brother.
Eric says, no, I don't care about Twisted Metal, but I like the show the way it was.
Go suck a big fucking dick.
Hey, V and Fuso's on. What's up, buddy? How are you? It's been a while. It's going great. Prince Green says it's the internet, man. That's just the internet. It's what happens.
Darth Nugget said, every Eric I know is a negative person. The fact that he spells his name with a K too makes it
Oh my God, he's so woke. Oh my God, you're so fucking woke with the K.
Yeah, Eric with a K is like woke.
It's like Eric KKK. That's what you are. Okay, did you see Jimmy Kimmel's post today? No, but I want to tell you, by the way, let's just get to that
Oh my God.
I want to get to that really quickly, though, because I'm not going to get into politics with you guys. I understand. I've learned my lesson, blah, blah, blah. But if you don't know, it's not the people are like, well, I already know who was in Jeffrey Epstein's black book. It's not that. There's a bunch of people, hundreds of people that were listed as Jane Doe and John Doe, number 20, number 40, number 60, whatever, in the court hearings. And the judge has decided, and last night at midnight, or this morning at midnight, whatever, was the last time any legal action could take place to block it. No one blocked it. So this is going to drop any minute now. They've already dropped, people are suggesting that John Doe 36 is Bill Clinton, and they dropped 7 more, actually, right when we went live. And I don't know who they are, but apparently they are in these lawsuits more than any other. So those have leaked out. Would you like to hear who these folks are? I'll tell you anyway. It's Mavizzle, Cody Thompson, Lee Perez, Rotten Tanuki, Zach Procrastinates, Alex Blocks, and Eddie Torres. That's right. All of the gods of war are also in Jeffrey Epstein's legal proceedings. Gods of War.
Aren't you guys glad you paid $50 for that?
Knucklehead. Listen, you guys, thank you so much, God's of War, for supporting the show like you do. I very, very much appreciate it. I like Gravediggers lives in 1940. Gravediggers coming to us from the 1940s somehow. He says, "Blast you, Jaffe."
He became Stewie Griffin. Blast you.
That's right. Okay. But yeah, Zeke says it's defamation. Look, it will be out this week. And whoever is called out, assuming that it is accurate and there is evidence of wrongdoing, I don't give a fuck who they are. If they fucked around with kids, I want them, thrown in jail.
Yeah, we're looking at you, Addie Pie.
Yeah, it's goddamn right. You goddamn right.
Everybody hates you, and I'm
We've
glad
heard the
your husband
allegations.
died.
We're taking them
He probably
seriously.
killed himself.
Yeah. All right. Let me do this again. Let's move on. But I do want to also tell you some of these guys. Mavizzle has a great podcast that I'll be on soon called Three Daddy Podcast. It is basically Colin Moriarty's Constellation, but it's very vulgar. We, of course, have Rotten Tanuki, who does the wonderful Day One Patch Kids. And, of course, we have Alex Plox, who opens our show and closes our show with his fine rendition of River City Rumble from Twisted Metal 2. All of these guys can be found in the link tree, which I'll show you right here. Where's the link tree? Here we go.
Everyone's saying P Turtle's on the list.
P Turtle's definitely on the list. Alex Plox, there you go.
I don't think he is, guys, because he found his GF before the flight, so he never made it to the island.
It's legal where he is. So, Alex Plox, Day One Patch Kids, Three Daddy Podcast. Go check him out on the link tree link below. I have a friend who wants to tell you about that, and then we will get to the next story. By the way, I'm about to start the conversation about the racist, anti-Semitic Mickey Mouse game. So, Bukaki, will you join me right after I tell you this friend's thing in the Calypso's lair? And if you are Cult of Calypso hire or a mod and you want to talk about this story, put yourself in there. All right? But here, I want to tell you one more thing really quickly. Hang on. Where did it go? I have to find this because it's super duper important to let you. There you go.
Please check out our sponsors at the link tree. They are good people and good products, and how dare you not go visit them. I am no longer moisty, but am mostly sad now. I love you. Gavin and the games for the win. Yeah, baby.
What the fuck? I don't know who she was. I'm kidding. They just said, hey, you want to make an AI? Shut up. Go check out the link tree. All right, I'm going into Calypso's lair if you want to join me. We're going to talk about this goddamn thing. All right. I am in Calypso's lair. If anybody wants to have a conversation with me and Bukaki about...
I'm going to take off because my friend is remodeling his bathroom, and it's getting very noisy over here.
Okay. Okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Are you going to be on tomorrow?
I'm on tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that works for me.
Oh, so. Okay. It works for Bukaki, everybody. Bukaki's okay with it. We'll be on tomorrow morning.
What time?
I don't know. 10 o'clock, 9:30,
all right.
10:30.
All right.
As far as you know.
See you guys.
Bye.
I'll be around. Just
all right.
Mike.
Okay. Do you think any off-the-wall announcement like a Mr. Rogers or something? Oh, at Hacker Ask, you mean about the Epstein? I mean, I'm sure there'll be some surprises. But I don't know, man. I mean, I just, Clinton wouldn't surprise me. Trump wouldn't surprise me. But we'll see. We'll see. Trust me, if it drops, we'll be talking about it on the morning show, not here, because I know people come here to get away from the ills of the world, blah, 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 whatever. Fuck you. All right, listen to this. I want to show you the trailer. Right now, I got Bookster in the chat. How you doing, Bookster?
I'm doing pretty good.
Okay, so I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to show, Bobby Kotick, yeah, Cosmic. I'm going to show the trailer of what was called Infestation 88. And then after the trailer, we're going to talk about this, okay? I'm muting and I'm playing. Here we go.
Hey there. Thanks for coming out. We've got a bit of an infestation here at the storage facility. We thought it was just rodents, but there's something else in here. There's nests. They're everywhere. We tried to take care of it ourselves, but things have escalated. The exterminators are our last hope. Please, help us before...
Okay, so let me give you guys some info and then we will talk about it. Okay, so that is obviously Steamboat Willie has dropped that iteration of Mickey Mouse as of yesterday or 2 days ago. Yesterday into the public domain. There's already 2 horror films announced. This is a game. Minnie's in the public domain. Rob the Mod is working on a game with Winnie the Pooh. Blah blah blah. Where's the racism, Darth Nugget? I know you're hungry for racism. I'll get you. Hang on, I'll get to you. Let me build the story. Jesus. Okay. So number one, this is from Kotaku, but again, I very much believe this is racist or anti-Semitic. It doesn't matter if you agree or not. I mean, I'm more than happy to have a conversation with you about it, and that's not the point of this conversation. But if you look at, it is more than a number, Darth Nugget, yes. Although the number 88 is what started it, okay? The number 88, and this is not some cryptic arcane knowledge. For those that don't know, this is from Kenneth Shepard at Kotaku. 88 is code for HH, and it is, or Hail Hitler within the Nazi movement. And H is the 8th letter of the alphabet. Okay, that's whatever. Okay, you could call that like, that's a weird coincidence, but whatever. They went in, they changed the name just because maybe they were like, oh yeah, we fucked up. We didn't even think about it. We just thought it sounded good. I would have no problem with that. Yeah, it's just a fucking number, and they no harm, no foul, even if you don't change the name. Fine. Okay? But listen to this, though. Kotaku goes on. The game focuses on killing a monster version of Mickey and dealing with a rat infestation by using gas, and the Nazi movement had used rats as a stand-in for Jews in its propaganda. All of this threw up too many red flags, and Infestation 88 was immediately met with suspicion, with what looked like a horror game capitalizing on Mickey was actually hiding something more insidious. In response to the criticism, Nightmare Forge Games announced it's changing the game Infestation to Infestation Origins, claiming ignorance, right? Okay, fine. Whatever. Here's what they said. Our game Infestation 88 is set in the 80s, with the year 1988 chosen simply due to its symmetrical design in the game's artwork logo. Unfortunately, we were unaware of any additional meanings the number 88 has. However, after learning about this, we're changing the game's name to Origins. We apologize for our ignorance and appreciate that this was brought to our attention so we could address it ASAP. Okay, all right, let's keep going. So this is, you've got people coming at them here where people are saying, responding to the developer, saying, damn, that's crazy. I guess your dev team didn't know who Hitler was and accidentally put 1488 all over the game. So if you go to, I guess, their tweets or Discord, this lady, my pronouns are she, it, mine is him, he, whatever. I'm going to take a she, it on, okay, that's funny. I'm going to take a she, it on Steamboat Willie. Why 88? Are these guys Nazi or something? I'm not even joking. Chaz says, so what? Non-Nazis aren't public domain yet. I think one of these is the developer. I could be wrong. What's wrong with that? This guy says nothing's wrong with that. So this is stuff they've seen. Bro, make Hitler too. Nah, wait, if I say more, I'm going to get canceled. Got to be quiet. So there's definitely, and then Nightmare came out and said the users here aren't associated with us. All rule-breaking users have been banned. Okay, maybe. But this is stuff that's been being talked about. This is not, they should have seen it. June says, we've already winked at all the people we want to wink at so we can pretend to hide again. 88 is a very specific number to use. No one believes it was unintentional, says Path. Hey, team, I wanted you to know if you're open. This guy just wants to sell some stuff. I doubt that symmetricality, is that how you say it, is the reason you chose it. So again, believe it, don't believe it. That's what we're talking about. If you want to join the conversation, jump into Calypso's lair. So right now it seems, and we're also just coming off the news where Hitler has been using the term vermin to talk about immigrants coming from other countries into America. And I'm not suggesting that it is 100% intentional, but you know what? It's pretty suspicious. Bookster, am I reaching? What do you think?
Well, to start, when I first saw the title, I thought you were crazy because I didn't get the 88 reference because that was not something I had remembered. I'm actually looking up a few of these things right now because some of this stuff I didn't know. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that if Hitler would refer to Jews as rats, but
No, no, no,
that's
no,
not
no, no.
something.
Not doesn't surprise you. That's all over the propaganda posters. That's not a theory. That's not a
Well,
something
I'm
someone's
I'm not
wondering about. It's accurate.
I'm not suggesting it's a theory. I just had never seen those propaganda posters before, so I'm looking up
Okay.
to see like the specific stuff and everything. But it definitely does. I would say, based on all that, after all that you just presented, it does not sound like they're reaching. Even if they weren't intentionally doing it, if it was, I'm sure someone had mentioned it in the Discord before, so they must have known this was coming.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder where I wonder if someone's going to do any digging on the individuals. Like if it turns out Nightmare Forge Games is run by a group of people that in their past have been posting on all this shit about then there you go. And again, the real question then becomes, should it be banned? I of course don't think anything should be banned. I think they have a right to put their horrible ideas, if that's ultimately what this is meant to be, wherever they want it. But I don't think Steam has an obligation to carry it. And again, maybe obviously we need to wait until we play it and see. But at this point, though, you are saying, Bookster, you agree with me and a number of other people on the internet and some in the chat that this is probably it's a little too close to be just purely accidental. It's one thing to say 88, but then when you're trying to kill the infestation of rats with the goddamn gas, it starts to feel a little too close to comfort, don't you think?
Yes, I do. At that point, I mean, I think the whole thing is that it seems like it was already brought to their attention more than once. So at that point, it seems a little more intentional.
I wonder where this came. I wonder where this guy Sprite, or actually Verinder Sin Jabal, is getting these from. Like, I wonder where it is that he actually found this. Let's see. The tweet is some weak sauce, especially when the dev team changed the name after criticisms. Blah blah blah. That's not the devs. That's not the mod team. Yeah, I'm not sure if these are just people in the thing talking. But even if it is, they're in their fucking forums. You'd think if their social media person looked at, look, I just don't have patience for it. Okay, I don't have patience for it. So maybe I'm overreacting. But you would think that if this is in their Discord and oh well, look at this. This guy says the mod team on Discord has out pro neo-Nazis. I was correct. Okay. Now I'm looking for why he sees he's correct. Random 88 was already blinking. 14 keystrokes, long title. The 88 and infestation all has Nazi written over it. Where are we getting 14 keystrokes? What is that about? I'm not sure. Oh, the name of the game has 14 keystrokes? What? Wait, really? I felt bad. Okay. I'm not sure what it is that he is talking about at this point, where he's now claiming. It says Paul Tassi. This feels like something that should be investigated. I'm wondering if we're going to get some more info from this guy, because this guy is saying their Discord has out and proud neo-Nazis. The mod team does, but I need a little bit more proof than you just saying it. He's trending all over the world, he says. Be sure you read the thread. I'm trying to find why it is that this dude thinks he knows something that I can't find any evidence of. I don't know. So, but I mean, it shouldn't be banned. Do you agree? I mean, why you wouldn't ban it? You just if you're Steam, I probably wouldn't carry it, but they have a right to fucking sell it, don't you think?
So I would say, well, looking at Steam's history, what's that one game they have Sex with Hitler on there?
Yeah.
They're not going to ban this, and at that point,
But
I think it's really up
Go
to
ahead.
what the platform wants to do, and I feel like Steam's the type of platform that They usually takes something really bad for them to ban. Like I think the game Hatred got banned on there, but
I
that
think
was
it might have.
about
I
it.
think so. I think so. One Winged Angel is saying to us in the chat, he says it's all Nazi coded shit. That's all over 4chan and bad subreddits. CR says it's PR. It's not a PR stunt. That's bullshit. Okay, I'm sorry. If you think they are using, especially in the current climate in this world, anti-Semitism as a PR stunt, I think you found someone potentially as bad as the Nazis. That's not true, of course, but it's a PR stunt, he says. And if you're doing exactly what they intended, you're talking about this mid-game no one will be talking about. Well, yeah, because it sounds potentially horrible, but it doesn't mean I'm going to buy it.
I would say if you were going to say this game's a PR stunt, it would be the Mickey Mouse, because that's the type of thing that gets the head clicks, not the, well, I would say the neo-Nazis, but that stuff would more likely give it a negative and make people less likely to play versus the Mickey Mouse, which would definitely get people to play just because it's more of a meme sort of.
Right. I agree. Where'd it go? It says, Darth Nugget says, have you seen some of the shit people have said in your Discord before they were banned? I could screenshot it and paint you as a bigot. You could, but then I would say, well, no, they were banned. I'm not suggesting that just because somebody in their forums wrote some awful shit, there's the smoking gun. I'm saying that if it's in their Discord and then this other guy is coming out and saying literally they have neo-Nazis on their social media team, I don't know if that's true, but that's what he's saying. Then it's hard to believe that the team was only made aware of it today. That's what I'm saying. Chris Smith says it's related to certain piece of hate speech for the number 14. I don't know anything about that. Let's put that. Where did this game talk about the number 14? What's it called? Even infestation. I mean, it's so. I get it. You're like, well, that's what you say about pest. Yeah, and that's what Goebbels and Hitler said about the Jews. Infestation. Let's see, number 14. Let's see what comes up. The numbers 14 are commonly used as code. Yeah, but where is it? Oh, it's the 14th letter. No, it's not the 14th letter. It's the 8th letter. Okay, here we go. The number's 14, but where is 14 in the game? I don't see 14 anywhere in this. I've never heard. I don't understand. Where did the game talk pro-Nazi? The game did not talk pro-Nazi. What do you mean the 14 keystrokes? Where did I say that? Fuck you, think more. Unless he's saying Jaffe, the other guy. I'm not being ridiculous. I'm saying, wait, keystrokes, you got to include the space. Somebody explain that to me. What did I say about, maybe I just glossed over it. I'm not being, you know what, guys? Look, anybody who comes to this show more than 5 times knows I'm a pretty fucking progressive motherfucker. And I was raised Jewish. I was also raised Jewish. I'm not Jewish now, but I was raised Jewish. My family on my dad's side is Jewish. And it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if they're attacking Muslims or black folks or women. You goddamn right. I'm going to at least be skeptical of them because a lot of people in this society need a little bit of help protecting themselves from fucking idiots. Darth Nugget is saying I never said 14 strokes. Okay. Unless there's something substantial, this is Pizzagate type of shit for the left. Again, that's what I will tell you. I agree with that, Vitaphone. I'm not saying it's a done deal. I'm saying, if they want to make a Nazi Mickey Mouse game, they have every right. And I support their right to make it, and I support their right to sell it. But I also think you have to fucking, call it for what it is. And then if you want to buy it, go buy it. But yeah, it could be nothing. It could absolutely be Pizzagate. Let me just look at that tweet one more time because somebody's saying the tweet included the 14 keys. I don't see anything about 14 keys, so I don't know what you mean. I don't, but Bad Robo. See, this is the thing is like I'm not looking. I don't need to be gotten. It's like people saying, yeah, Jaffe, they love you talk about their game, especially there's no evidence it's Bad Robo. I get it. But me talking about it doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. I'm just, it sounds let's keep an eye on it. Let's keep a fucking eye on it. We'll see. Oh, Infestation 88 is 14 keystrokes. Okay, that seems reaching. I agree with that, Brett Moore. That seems reaching.
Yeah, that's definitely reaching.
I'm their best marketing guy. Fine. Okay, fine. People are like, but you're promoting it. Go buy the Mickey Mouse Nazi game. If it turns out to be a Nazi game, go buy it if you're a fucking Nazi supporter. I'm not saying it's a Nazi game, but it sounds like it could be, or it sounds like some people on the team could have pushed that, but maybe they didn't. I could buy that too. What do I care? Go buy their game. But look, if you buy their game and if it turns out that there is some Nazi propaganda in there, then, go spend your money supporting fucking Nazis. What do I care? Again, I am a big believer in the First Amendment. Go make all the Nazi games you want, but I don't have to buy them and I don't have to shop at places that sell them. But they have a right to exist as long as they're not literally inciting violence. They will lose more sales than they get, says Porsche, especially if Steam shuts it down for hate. If you want to buy trash just because you heard about it, go for it. Right. Yeah, Foolish Duke, I agree. Foolish Duke is I don't know how old you are, but it sounds to me like there's a cutoff probably under 30 where a lot of people think that because it's this platforming idea. And it's like, oh, if you talk about it, you're platforming it. No, it's called bringing things to people's attention, but you're platforming it. No, I'm talking about it. And yes, maybe there's one person out there watching this particular stream that has a tendency to gravitate to Nazi propaganda video games. Okay. Oh, well, you got by me. But most people are just like, wow, if it turns out to be true, I'm never buying anything from Nightmare Forge Games anymore. Anyway, okay. Bookster, you got anything else to say on this topic, or are you ready to wrap it up?
I'm ready to wrap it up.
All right, Bookster, thanks for calling. Again, don't forget, every show we're going to have one of these conversations. If you're in the Cult Calypso or above, you can join, or you're a mod, you can join if you have something to say. Meantime, Bookster, thank you. I appreciate it, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
See ya.
All right, there he goes, fellas. Okay, now, let me see the chat, then we're going to move on to the next story. Scott says Walt Disney hated Jewish people. Maybe it's on theme. I read kind of the it's not preeminent. I've read kind of not the official. I've read like the most cited, most awarded biography on Walt Disney. And whether you're talking Jews or black people, it really wasn't. There's not a lot of evidence that that's true. What there is there's evidence that he was a member of the Nazi Party before it became what we know of in the Nazi Party. Then he put all of his weight behind the war on our side, of course. But the other thing, though, is a lot of it quotes about Disney are more things like relics of the time. So I'm not saying that they were okay. I'm just saying that you have to kind of go, he was a man of his time and he was a white privileged man of his time. That doesn't mean he was going around, attacking black folks and Jewish folks. He may have been, but nothing I've read in this very well-researched, like 600-page fucking tome, and it delved into that. Nothing I've read suggests that that's actually true. Linja says Disney was not an anti-Semite. It was a brand put on him by animator unions after he was against forming them in the business. Right. There was the strike for Dumbo, I think. Okay. Pete Turtle says RPG, you're the best damn mod here. I've always wanted to tell you that. He's pretty fucking good. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's move on to another topic. Because, again, I don't have a dog in this fight. I think
please check out our sponsors at the
shut
link
up, lady.
tree.
I think if it turns out that it is racist or anti-Semitic, then I'll have a dog in the fight. Right now, I'd give it about 60% chance they knew what they were doing and they wanted to do it, and 40% they didn't. But I still wouldn't ban the game unless Steam just doesn't want to sell it, and that's their right. I support their right. Okay, let's move ourselves on down the road. Ease on. Okay, what's next? What's next, folks? What are we talking about? Hey, listen to this. I got to talk about Alan Wake. Now this is tough. Okay, wait, that's a good point. Hacker says, was Robert Zemeckis a Nazi for making the DeLorean go 88 miles an hour for time travel? Well, okay, 2 things on that. 3 things. Good point. And if it was just the 88, I would agree with you. But because then it goes into the plot of the game, which is to exterminate vermin using gas, and you have that comment in the forums where they were talking about that being a dog whistle for Nazis, then I start to go, it's not as clear cut. The other thing I'll say is Marty McFly goes 88 miles an hour, which is the number for Hail Hitler. But where does he go? Does he go to the progressive future? No, he goes back in time to the 50s where people were fucking stupid racist motherfuckers. So maybe it was intentional, but it was probably a metaphor for fuck you Nazis. Hey, what's up, baby? All right. Vita says gas is a common pest control method. I understand that, but I also understand that when you are putting all these little things in a little clump, the numbers, the Discord, the gas, calling them vermin or rats, sometimes you have to kind of, allow things to go. That might be true, but it could just be Pizzagate. I agree. Alan Wake. Let's talk about Alan Wake. Now, I want to be really fucking clear. I want to be really fucking clear on this because I am not, I know people think I am, but I'm really not. I love video games. I'm not a contrarian. I get accused of that a lot because I'd say 65% of the time when it comes to AAA video games, I tend to sort of be in the minority of things. Like I loved Starfield. I didn't lie. I loved it. Thought it was great. Best single player game I've played in terms of the story. Whatever. There's a whole list of things that we can, but it's not because I'm trying to be contrarian. I'm just being honest. This is kind of what I fucking think about. And so this one, I think people are going to totally come at me. I mean, not that I'm important enough to come at, but in terms of, let's say they're going to disagree. I like Alan Wake a great deal. Okay, I'm not shitting on Alan Wake 2. I think it's really good. It's a little slow for me. Like it hasn't quite got its hooks in me enough that, I can't stop playing it. I really like it. I appreciate it. I want to see it through to the end, even though Eddie T is saying you really need to play it twice to get the most out of it. And maybe I will. But so far, I think it's really good. It's really, really good. And I love that they didn't spend tons of money to make it. It feels like it's a very clear, not that it has to be a personal vision, but it feels like it doesn't have a lot of executive fingerprints all over it. I respect the director and I respect the lead, Sam Lake, and I think it's a great company. Okay. But I got to the part the other night, and this is going to be a spoiler. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to put up a picture of one of our great sponsors. Here we go. Let me make sure you can hear me. This is Day One Patch Kids. Okay. As long as this picture is up, and it's only going to be like a minute, if that. I just want to tell you what it is that I don't get. We're in spoiler land. The minute the picture comes down, I won't spoil anything. Okay. So here's the spoiler. I got to the part last night or 2 nights ago where if you've played the game, Alan Wake is kind of in the dark world or whatever they call it. And he is going through the musical section, right? So if you saw Keeley's show, where all the guys came out on stage and did the little dance to the old gods of Asgard and all that shit, that's actually part of the game. And they kind of walked through, Alan Wake and you as the controller walk through kind of like a fever dream of his ideas and images set to music. So it was almost like he was living in a musical, right? And so a lot of people are raving about it. GameSpot put up an article. Alan Wake's musical moment is the best surprise in gaming in years. Okay. Now let me go out of the spoilers. Okay, we're out of spoilers, but people know what section I'm talking about. Okay. So it's not that I didn't like it, right? It's not that I didn't appreciate it for the creativity that was there. And it's like, oh, that's different. That's neat. I have no problem at all with it being in the game. The issue I have with it is the jizzing all over it by people talking about it as if it is something special if it wasn't in a game, right? Because there's nothing unique about a character falling into some kind of fever dream hallucination where he's dealing with his demons in a weird, funny... I mean, sitcoms have done it, right? I mean, fucking Community did it when Abed thought he was in claymation and they had a whole Christmas special in order for him to, you know, go through the claymation world like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. I mean, it's not a trope, but it's kind of tropey, right? In the game, yes, we haven't seen it in a game before, but I think we need to move or push ourselves as developers and creators and fans and critics of the medium. I think we need to move beyond going, oh, I loved it when they do it in the movies. Let me do it in a game and I'll stand on the shoulders of giants who actually created it and I'll take the kudos and I'll take the credit. I don't like that. I think that is reflective of a gaming community and a critical community that isn't really being that critical. They should be able to push back on that and say, well, it's cool. It's nice variety. It's cool, but don't act like it's moved the ball down the field when it comes to interactivity. Hang on. God damn it. One sec, fellas. What is this? Oh. All right. And again, I know... Addy Pie, go fuck yourself. Addy Pie says, why can you not just appreciate a cool new thing and let it be? Because that's not what I do, bitch. Because my job, whether it was when I worked at Sony or I talk about games all day long, is to discuss, debate, push, love, celebrate, criticize the medium that I love. Okay? And I cannot stand that thinking, Addy Pie, where it's like, what did I fucking start this with? I love Alan Wake 2. I think it's great. Okay? I'm not shitting on it. But if you're going to ask me, why can't you just appreciate a cool thing, a cool new thing? I'm going to ask you, why are you one of those people that when anyone digs deeper than the surface into something, if they're not overwhelmingly positive, then they're fucking some negative Nancy asshole? It's called being invested in the art form. It's called being invested in the fucking game. It's called being invested enough to go, I love this about it, but this didn't work for me. If you want to be a fucking bootlicker of entertainment and anything they shovel into your fucking mouth, you're like, more please, man, have some more. That's fine. But this is probably, as much as I appreciate you're part of our community and much as I appreciate your money every month, this may not be the community for you. Addy Pie says, it was just a fun sequence. You don't have to nitpick at every aspect of the game. I'm nitpicking at a part of it because, look, and I have been there as a creator, okay? There were things I did in God of War. There were things I did even in Drawn to Death or Twisted Metal, where I was like, and I got kudos for it. Isn't this cool? Yeah, but I knew in my head that all I had done was do something I'd seen in a movie that I knew they hadn't done in a video game yet, and put it in the game, and suddenly I was getting all the credit. So let me just tell you something, bitch. I've been around the block, or as Al Pacino says in Sin of a Woman. That's old. Great movie, though. I've been around, okay? I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Jaffe don't lick no boots, especially except for Disney Marvels. Fuck you, bitch. I like Disney. I like Marvel. What do you want from me? K-Nub says, no interest in the game, and I watched the part you're talking about and honestly don't get why anyone thinks it's that special. I mean, I think it's, hoo-ha, that's right. I think it is special. I think it's unique. It's different in the world of games. But if I was telling the story of Alan Wake 2 in a movie and that happened, you'd go, okay, I've seen that before. That's kind of cool. Let's move on. And I'm just saying that especially if you're writing for one of the biggest websites out there, like GameSpot, and you're acting like, oh my God, it's the best surprise in gaming in years. No, it's not. No, it's not. You need to be better. You need to be more educated upon what the medium of what you're writing about. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm fucking saying. My question is it not okay the game did it as a first and caused Discord to encourage more? This is Kid? Outside the box thinking, or is it a poor angle to view it? I think it's both. I think you're right. Like I said, there's nothing about it that I hate. I think it was clever. It was nice for the pacing. There was nothing bad about it. It was cool, actually. I thought, hey, this is kind of neat, right? I'm just saying that anything more than that, which is what I am seeing in the discourse about the game, I want to push back a little or a lot, depending on how you view this tirade. Because I think it's not really, it's rewarding. I would much rather see a mechanic rewarded that affected the story that way. Or if he is indeed walking around this location, and it is this location that we talked about in the spoiler, I would much rather see the things that he does in the gameplay somehow be tied into what people actually do when they're in those locations. But just having, walking through the dark ride of Pirates of the Caribbean, but it happens to have this art and these videos playing, it was cool. It was a neat part of the story, but I'm sorry, I do think there's value in pushing back so people don't just go, oh, that's what it takes. That's what it is. It's like, no, you got to push harder. I believe in the medium, but I don't believe we always, respect it, especially when people are critiquing it. If the bar is can't have been done in a movie kind of kills everything. I didn't say that's the bar, Vitaphone. I didn't say I didn't like it. I said that I think it's getting too much acclaim for what it actually is. And I think that's worth a conversation if you care about the medium. I'm not saying just because it was done in a movie, you can't do it in a game. I never said that. Okay, let's move on. I appreciate you guys all saying I'm right and you guys are wrong. Why am I wearing yellow? I don't know. Why are you wearing anything? I mean, it's a color. The bar for acclaim, says Vitaphone. He says, if the bar, you didn't say acclaim. You said, if the bar is can't have been done in a movie kind of kills everything but gameplay. Film copied radio, radio copied literature, come off of it, Jaffe. I'm not, yeah, cool. But you know what? Actually, you're kind of wrong, but film copied theater. And you know what? The reason Citizen Kane is so beloved, because Orson Welles was like, you know what? We don't have to just sit the camera down and film it like a stage play. I know that's where we came from, but let's move the camera. Let's come up with all kinds of visual filmic language that no one's ever thought of before. That's why when people say, when's gaming Citizen Kane? We had it. It was called Mario 64. Okay, we've had that. Okay? It's not that you can't riff on other mediums, but if you're going to give it kudos and really hype it up like a lot of people are doing with this game, then you better fucking bring something to the medium that is unique to get those kudos. At least if you want them and you want to feel that they're earned. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Okay. Old time radio plays came before TV. Obviously, it's not the only thing. I know, but what I'm saying though is that there was something before film, is what I mean. Okay. Let's move forward. I'm sorry, I'm reading the chat. I know it's boring for you. Ken Wall says, I agree. I just played it. It does feel like those amusement rides. Yes, it was well done, but it wasn't innovative besides the visuals, right? CR says that's why when a game should only be talked about if it pushes the gameplay. Story will always be derivative of Hollywood. Well, and I don't think that's true. I think the ideal is when the gameplay and the story are the same thing, but that doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be that. I think the thing stifling what you're talking about, says Al, is risk-averse publishers. I think that doing these milquetoast ads to games will open them a little more. Yeah, but the thing is, you're talking about Remedy that funded the game themselves. This was a game without a lot of executive, if any executive fingerprints on it, and it was great. Let me speak to that, by the way. Let's change topics real quick. Mr. LHD6, because I saw this a couple of times on Twitter earlier today. He says, did you see the Wolverine gameplay leaks? Of course I did. He says, disappointed in how much it's using God of War 2018 as a template. It doesn't have its own identity. So I'm about to reverse course a little bit on my take on the leaks. I mean, I still don't think they're going to be a problem for anybody, in the sense that I think they're going to make a great game. It's going to sell. It's not like, oh, it leaked. It's going to be, let's fucking kill it. Because some people have said, oh, are they going to kill it because it leaked? And I never thought it was worth worrying about that stuff, not the personal stuff and not the blackmail stuff, but just, the game's going to be great. But I assume that everybody looking at it would know that it's early. Like I saw somebody, I saw somebody online talking about, well, it's not that early. Camera is one of the first things that gets locked. No, it's not. You know how many times we move the fucking camera all over the place? I mean, you can't be an alpha and go, let's make it a first-person shooter. Of course. But the idea that the camera's too far, too close, or that the combat I'm seeing looks like God of War combat. Well, it's 2 years out. That camera is going to change 1,000 fucking times. I remember I went home actually in Twisted Metal. Every game's different. Twisted Metal didn't matter as much because we had the frame rate under control, so we can move the camera and it didn't really hit the processing. But I remember Twisted Metal Black. I was home over Thanksgiving or Christmas break or whatever, and I was tweaking camera numbers and sending them out to Utah, and we were months away from release. So I'm sorry, but that's just, if leaks make people actually judge it when it's 2 years out and they don't fucking understand it, that this is the process and maybe that's not their job to, then maybe I do get why people at Insomniac are so upset. I assume people would know that, dude, it's 2 years. What are you talking about? But I guess people are judging it and no offense to you, sir, but you're not the only one. There's a lot of people who do that. CR says, I don't see how games can push the boundaries of storytelling. There's videos on this very channel. A company that shut down this year, Team Me. I had the guy on, the lead designer of Desperados 3. There are about 4 or 5 gameplay moments in that tell story and character and thematic through gameplay. And I was like, maybe I'm reaching. So I invited him on the show and I said, hey, is this a thing? Was this intentional? And one of them was not intentional. He's like, oh, I didn't think about that. It doesn't mean it's not evocative or powerful, but that wasn't intentional. The rest of them totally were. Gameplay itself carried the theme in that game. That's amazing. That's the stuff we should be lauding and celebrating and writing about. That's all I'm saying. Mr. LHD says, I don't think it's bad to judge a game this early if it gives the developer feedback. They don't want feedback. It's not like they put it out into the world and they were like, hey, what do you think? This was ripped off. I mean, it kind of relates to this other guy posted, hell, I don't know, maybe this is you. Let me know. This other guy posted something. He said, this is from a guy on Twitter. I don't know who he is. He follows me though, so maybe it is you. Cyber Jimbo. He says, perhaps it's time for Sony to turn this lemon, meaning Wolverine, into lemonade by making the leaked Wolverine an official early access open alpha. Let the community help make Wolverine the best it can be. They don't need your fucking help. They don't need I'm just like, leave them alone. It's 2 years out. It's from the director of one of, if not the best superhero games ever fucking made, which is Miles Morales. Leave him alone. God damn, if you go work at the goddamn company. I'm not saying that early access isn't valuable sometimes, but early access, when they've said, hey, we want to put this out into the world and get your thoughts, absolutely. But that's not this. Seth says, Jaffe, have you ever played or know much about Outer Wilds? I played a little bit of it. I liked it a lot, but I didn't like the tone of it. So it was a little, I don't like when my adventures are like trying to be all funny, and I don't like that, like, these guys are really crazy, but we're serious, right? Can you believe you said that about capitalism? It's too on the nose for me. So, but it's very good. It's very, very good. Eddie T says, I do think the Insomniac formula is getting stale. It might be, but again, let's put it this way. Let me educate some folks here. I'm reading another. Let me educate some folks. Okay. It may be getting stale, and Wolverine may be. Oh, I'm thinking Outer Worlds. No, I have not played Outer Wilds. Okay, got it. Wolverine may be going down the road of a game that is exactly what you think it's going to be. But even if it is, then you will have a right, to accurately criticize it. I don't think you have a right to criticize it, but you don't get to be called an accurate criticizer at this point. But what I would say, though, is there's a really good chance when you make video games, especially a team like Insomniac that knows how to build shit fast and reliably, you build off what you had before. So there's a really good fucking chance that Wolverine, as it stands now, is just getting everything kind of the basics laid in, and whatever really weird, unique shit they've got. We talked about this in the past, whether his healing factor, really comes in and plays a part. Like, okay, I'm going to have my healing factor up at 80% so I can survive a lot. But if I do that, it's going to take power away from me, so my hits don't land as hard, and Berserker mode takes longer to get to. Well, you're not necessarily going to see that right away. Sometimes you will, because it's the foundation of a lot of things. But sometimes if it's early, which this is, you're just kind of getting the basics in. And this team's getting their shit together, and hey, is the smell system, does that kind of thing work? And that's all I'm saying. And you got to let it cook. I mean, let's put it this way, if you're willing to look at leaks before people want you to look at them, then you should also come with the responsibility of going, this isn't fair to judge yet. You can't help but judge, but it's not fair to share that as if it's a valid opinion, because it's too early. And if it turns out, like CR3D in the chat is saying, that Sony's the new Ubisoft, fine. Then they will get, as they should, slammed for repetitive, boring shit. But, okay. Okay. What is this? What is this right here? Well, that sounds like I see that. Okay. Listen, folks, I'll get to the chat, and then we're going to wrap the show for today. It's a good episode, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, reminder that if you want to be part of the discussion on the next Gavin Games this Thursday at 5 p.m., in your Cult of Calypso member or higher, join us. I'm not sure what the topic will be yet, but we'll love to have you. Consider a subscription, a membership, a like, a retweet, a pickle tickle, whatever it is you want. And then don't forget, tomorrow morning, between 9:30 and 10:30, I don't know when yet. This will get consistent, but it's not yet. We'll be doing Good Morning Gaming, which is kind of the morning show. It's a lot less planned. We take phone calls. We talk mostly about games and geek shit, but we also talk about other stuff if it's compelling. Vitaphone says nuance isn't a thing on the internet. Neither is forming a coherent opinion on an industry people haven't worked in. I know, but don't people want to get better? Don't they want to go, oh, I get it. I've had a lot of people who actually have worked and even are still working in the industry telling me this stuff. Maybe I should go, oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe they don't care. That's fine. All right, listen. Psycho, I can't get to you tonight. I'm sorry. I'll get to you tomorrow if you happen to call in. Bookster, thank you for being in the conference today, talking about the racist Mickey Mouse game. You got Cosmic Bandito. You got a 20% discount at MedMen. Oh man, let me tell you something. MedMen's fine. I like MedMen, but Tory Holistics on Saturday, dude, they sell their pot. You can get it's usually like $30. You can get it for like $9, like a disposable or just a cart. It's excellent. It's excellent. No, I did not finish Liza P. All right. Be well, be safe. Thank you for hanging out. Hopefully I'll see you guys tomorrow on the morning show or the next Gabbin' and Games. In the meantime, thanks sponsors, thanks members. Thank you guys a lot. I appreciate it, man. I'll see you soon. Bye.